ever waved the white flag of business ownership and found yourself asking other lash artists in a free Facebook forum, is my price too high? What should I be charging if I'm new? What should I be charging if I've been doing lashes for years? What do you other lash artists charge for full sets? You know, the lash artists that are halfway across the world where they have different exchange rates, cost of living, taxes, and expenses compared to yours. Yeah, that's a great source of information. If you've asked any of these questions before, I can promise you, you will get the answer you're looking for. You will start to see evidence that, oh, you know what? This person has way better work than I do, or they've been doing this longer. So yes, my price is too high for what I offer clients. Or no, you should know your worth. You do great work. You should charge more, raise your prices, blah, blah, blah. But these forums are not the greatest way and place for finding out business information. They definitely have their place for our industry. They're a great source of community. They're a great source for learning things that may not have been given to you in your training. But as far as business, medical, or legal advice, I would steer clear of these free Facebook forums. Today, I'm going to dive into how you can figure out if your price point for you in your marketplace is really too high or if it's not. If your price point is not why people are not coming in to see you. So we're going to dive into that on today's episode. Welcome today. It is Wednesday again here at Lashpreneur HQ, and we are diving into experimenting with why it is that you don't have any clients, or why you're struggling to get clients, or why you're going through a slow season. So I'm going to give you the tools and the knowledge in order to test these theories on your own. Again, free Facebook forums have their place for lash artists. There are dozens, if not hundreds out there, and quite frankly, a lot of them are all the same. They get a bunch of lash artists in there, and then we have a bunch of different opinions, advice, experiences going on, and it's hard to weed out what's good advice and what ends up being harmful, damaging, or ineffective to your business. For the most part, they're well-meaning lash artists hanging out in these groups, responding to questions and trying to be helpful to you. But these groups also take on this mob mentality where it's literally the blind leading the blind. If one person thinks that Groupon worked for them, they're going to share that information with everybody. If you need clients, use Groupon, use Groupon, use Groupon. I can tell you I've never used Groupon to build a clientele, and I had a fairly successful business. And so I'm going to not ever use Groupon as an example. It's not saying that Groupon's bad or good. It's just not something that I recommend, or that is a great business philosophy to base a business on offering discounts consistently. Just look at the amount in these Facebook groups. Just look at the amount of the follow for follow comments or trains or posts that happen within these groups. That is the blind leading the blind. Everybody in those comment threads think that the number of followers you have on social media somehow equates to having a successful business or making a lot of money. And I can tell you, based on the algorithm, that is a terrible idea. Go back to episode 1, I believe it is, of the Lessons of the Lashpreneur, maybe 2. How you're killing your chances with the algorithm is the title of that video. And I explain to you why, if you get a bunch of lash artists to follow you just because you're trying to get to that final 1,000 followers, you've really shot yourself in the foot for your marketing. This is what happens in these groups. It's the blind leading the blind. It's misinformation, misguided attempts at trying to build business that newer lash artists, or those that are just finding these forums and finding this wealth of information, start to go down a rabbit hole of bad behavior, bad advice, and horrible, horrible guidance. So I want to make sure that today I'm going to empower you to do your own experimentation, create your own kind of results and hypothesis on why it is that you may be struggling in your business. So let's start with experimentation with your price point. So if you are thinking your hypothesis is my prices are too high and clients think I'm too expensive, let's just say that that is your theory right now. So how do we experiment with our price to see if that is really true of our marketplace, or if there's maybe another cause as to why we don't have clients? So the first thing I want you to do is experiment with it. Throw out whatever it is that you tend to market yourself with, a price discount, maybe $20 off a full set, or, go buck wild, do $50 off a full set. And if all of a sudden you get a huge influx of clients, then yes, maybe price was a certain factor for clients not booking with you. It doesn't mean it's the only factor. It just means that that was one that it triggers people. Okay, she's offering a discount. I'm going to jump right on in and book with her right away. However, if you lower your prices, and you're not getting a bunch of calls in and you're not getting a bunch of bookings, it's not your price point that's the problem. It's most likely your marketing. It's most likely that you're not getting your business out there enough and creating enough awareness about your business that no matter your price point, nobody's seeing you, so nobody's booking with you. And I would say that if anyone in your local area charges a higher price point than you, then that justifies and that proves, that is a fact, that there is a marketplace that is willing to pay a higher price than yours. So what is so different about them than you? Is it that they're better quality? Maybe. Do they have more experience and more time in being in business? Maybe, but that just means that they have more time of making people aware of their business. Or is it that they market better and they're terrible lash artists, they do terrible work, but they market themselves really well and they're able to draw in a bunch of clients. And that's why they're able to charge more, because they have a lot of demand for their services. All of that has to do with marketing themselves rather than just their price point being what people are searching for. I can tell you, if you're watching this show, if you consistently participate in the Lashpreneur posts and engage with it, you don't want clients who are solely based on price. I promise you, there are so many other ways, easier ways to get clients in the door that doesn't depend on you being the cheapest and lowest price lash artist in your area. And I want to make sure that we're also challenging that, are you basing your beliefs about your business on worth or on facts? Is it about beliefs about what, I'm charging too much because I see other people charging less than me and they do better work? Or is there a fact that they don't know how to market themselves easier, and so you're just coming up with the conclusion that that's what I have to be charging because they do better quality work? Or is it that you can learn how to market yourself and you can charge any price that you want because you feel empowered to be able to get in front of the right types of clients for your business? Same can be said about your location. I live in a saturated market, or there's another lash artist or 10 lash artists in the same building I'm in. I'll never be busy because I have so much competition just even in the building I'm in. Well, if that were true, wouldn't the opposite also be true? That if you were in a location, say you rented out an office space in an office building and you were the only lash artist in there, does that automatically mean that you're fully booked and in high demand because you're the only person in that location? No, it doesn't. So this illusion that, oh my gosh, there's 3 other lash artists in the same salon suites that I'm in, I don't know if I'm ever going to be successful because there's so much competition. I'm sorry, the last time I went into a salon suite, there's not a whole lot of walking traffic. Maybe you guys are competing over strategic partnerships with the other hairstylists in there, but it's unlikely that one lash artist is going to dominate all of the other salon stylists. And even if they are, you've got a whole city full of eyes that you can start to market to. So your location being in close proximity to other lash artists does not necessarily impact your ability to get in front of types of clients. Again, we go into the abundance mindset in a previous episode where there's enough eyes and enough clients to go around that you don't necessarily need to be threatened by the proximity of other lash artists in your area. So if it's not your price point and it's not your saturated market, what else can we do to test out why you're so slow in your business? Well, we can test out your marketing. I know, collective groan, gosh, Tara, more marketing. Can't I run my business without marketing? No, you really can't. If you got into business thinking that you would never have to learn how to market yourself, that clients would just come pouring in and all you had to do was, drive down the price of what you offer, have fun being broke for a while until you either run out of business or you decide that you actually want to make money at what you do. Yes, you need to learn how to market yourself, and you need how to learn how to market yourself first and foremost after you get that lash certification. That would be step number 2 once you learn how to isolate, dip, and place, is how to get warm bodies in your bed so that you can practice your lashing and that they pay you. So how about we experiment with your platform, your social media platforms? Inside of the Lashpreneur Society this month, we've been doing an Instagram challenge and doing trainings on how to grow their following with actual potential clients rather than lash artists or the wrong types of followers. And inside the Instagram challenge, it's a 30-day challenge where I challenged my members. I want you to show up for 30 days, post every single day, and see what happens. Document your results. People are getting more profile visits. They're learning how to use hashtags and getting people to find them through the right types of hashtags. They are getting more followers. They've actually learned that they went through and This was kind of a weird side note, but they lost followers because they went through and removed followers that were other lash artists because they had done the follow for follow trains and had built a following of other lash artists, which is actually impacting their ability to get in front of potential clients. So a lot of people removed their clients and are now building followers of potential clients. And they're also learning that it's not as challenging to just show up. That was my whole goal for them, is I don't necessarily care about your overall, how the feed and the aesthetic looks of your Instagram. I don't care about how long your caption is or how short your caption is or how perfectly edited your photos are. I want you to show up and have a genuine, authentic experience with using Instagram to grow your business. And we've had some great wins that I'll share on Instagram stories after the challenge is over. But it's been a really fun way to show them what I do in my business for Instagram and how it can really be an effective tool to help grow your business and to start to see a little momentum. So could you experiment with maybe posting more on Facebook instead of Instagram and see if that doesn't generate more engagement and more likes and more people reaching out to you and messaging you, asking you questions about your services? Maybe we're posting more on Instagram. Maybe we're changing the calls to actions in our post. Maybe we're saying more than just book now. Maybe we're asking them to leave a comment or we're asking them to like the photo. Maybe we experiment with doing posts versus paid advertising. Maybe we post, twice a week, but we also run Facebook ads in conjunction with posting twice a week and see if that doesn't work. Maybe we try Instagram ads. Maybe we try images versus videos to see if we get more engagement off of videos or we get more people reaching out to us about videos than we do about static images. Maybe we try going more all in on Instagram stories this month instead of posting as frequently and see what kind of engagement we get off of stories. Maybe we try more polls in our stories or more questions in our stories. Maybe we try posting frequency. Maybe we up our amount of posts a week to 5 instead of 3. There are always ways that you can experiment with the platform to see what is going to get you a shift and give you some momentum in growing your business on, say, social media and doing your social media marketing. And you don't have to commit to doing this long term. It's not like if you start doing 5 posts a week now that you are for life committed to doing 5 posts a week. Just try it out for a month and see what happens. I can tell you with social media marketing especially, when you start to see some momentum happening, when you start to get engagement, you get people responding to you, going to your website, leaving comments, direct messaging you, you are motivated to continue to do that. But you have to step up in the first place to put yourself out there. It's not going to happen first and then you get the motivation. You have to put yourself out there and commit to it for as long as you can commit to it. I recommend a month. Try it out, see if it works. If posting 5 days a week on Instagram and learning how to use that platform didn't really work out for you, then switch to something else and pull back on your posting. What if we experimented with how we market, whether we do in person or online? Maybe this month you did Instagram challenge or you challenged yourself to post 5 days a week. And next month, you're going to focus more on in-person marketing strategies. So maybe you're asking your clients for more reviews online. Maybe you are asking them to refer their friends to you. Maybe you are asking for Yelp reviews and encouraging that word of mouth. Maybe you are focusing on strategic partnerships and other hairstylists and massage therapists and nail techs that can start to refer their clients to you. Or maybe you are using hashtags online and you're focusing on hashtags and which hashtags are working for you and experimenting with hashtags online in your social media marketing. Or maybe you try switching up your website. Maybe you take out all of the photos on your homepage that are kind of blurry, up the nose lash shots and you switch it out for stock photos. Is that going to start attracting new clients? Maybe you switch it up to have older clients instead of younger clients appearing on your website. There's a bunch of different ways that you can start to experiment with your marketing to see if it's one tiny little switch that starts to get people to connect with what you're doing and starts wanting them to book with you. It doesn't always have to be mind-blowing, start from scratch, everything must go and we start over. It can be just as simple as a couple of little switches and shifts that can really make a huge difference in starting to drive traffic to your website or traffic into your business. And lastly, why don't we experiment with who you're marketing to? If your marketing is doing good, you're being consistent, you're just not getting the results, maybe we switch up who it is that we're talking to. You've probably heard me talk about that step 1 of marketing is knowing who you're talking to. Maybe you want to switch that up. Maybe the types of lashes that you do are very natural looking, and yet everything you're doing to market is to a younger clientele. and maybe they're a little more price sensitive, but maybe if you started marketing to moms in their 30s or, grandmothers in their 50s, that they might start being drawn to the types of lashes that you do. And it was just a mix up of who it is you should be drawing in for the type of work that you do. Or maybe that you are trying to get older clientele in, but you do really awesome strip lash looks, that maybe if we went to somebody in their mid-20s and we started marketing to that demographic, that you might actually start to see a lot more clients being interested because they really want that look. And you're not posting about being a mom and all this kind of other stuff. You're posting about what's relevant to their life. There's also different life phases, whether they're married, mom, single, in college, professional, retired, different income levels. If you keep getting in the cheap clients, maybe you start posting more luxury, travel-minded stuff with more that people with more discretionary income would be interested in. And maybe you post, again, different desired outcomes. So maybe you focus this month on doing really bold looks, and that's what you're posting on social media, and that's what you're putting on your website, as opposed to more natural looking lashes. So those are just some ideas. I know when you're struggling in your business, you want a quick fix, you want a Band-Aid, you want to stop the pain right now, but you likely got into the position in your business where you're struggling and you're slow because you were following bad advice or you were not committed to what it takes to run a business. So I encourage you to try something new. Step outside your comfort zone. I know, oh my gosh, heaven forbid you actually try an Instagram live or you post more on stories with your actual face, but try it out. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work. Nobody saw it. You delete it and you move on. I want you to take a risk, invest in yourself as a business owner, because waiting for you on the other side of that struggle is a clientele full of full price paying women who love what you do, who you love to work with, and you have a business and a life that you can be proud of and that you built, and not all of these other lash artists in free forums. So if you want a forum of like-minded women who are committed to learning and evolving as business owners and as women, and who'll give you credible, tried and true advice, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you join us inside of the Lashpreneur Society. One aspect of our society is our Facebook community, and this took on a whole new mind of its own, a whole new life of its own this past July when we welcomed in over 200 new members. And it is now this intensely tight community where we are giving each other advice, we are supporting each other, we are sharing wins, we are sharing struggles, we are giving you tried and true business advice that's going to set you up for success and not risk failure. And I can guarantee you that Groupon is a banned term in my group. We never recommend Groupon. We never recommend doing paying somebody else to do our marketing. That's what Groupon is. You're paying somebody else to do your marketing at a very high price. So it's also where I spend a lot of time engaging with members, walking them through step-by-step, challenging their mindset, challenging their beliefs about themselves so that they can break through and have an amazing, incredible business that they can be proud of. So we only open up registration a couple of times a year. I do recommend you getting on the wait list so that you know when we open up the doors next, and you can do that at the Lashpreneur Society or lashpreneur.com/society to be notified when we do open up registration again. Thanks so much for joining me today, and happy business building. Have a good one.